Hey you guys, what is up? I am Josie Bunn and I am back with another collaboration video that I am so excited to show you guys. I had the wonderful opportunity of collaborating with a bunch of amazing DIYers here on YouTube, and I am so honored to be included in this group and I am so excited. So if you are coming over from one of their channels, hello, I am Josie Bunn and I make fashion DIY and lifestyle content here on YouTube. I am so excited to have you on my channel. So if you like what you see here and you are sort of in the fashion DIY community, I wholeheartedly welcome you to my channel and encourage you to subscribe and like the video and leave a comment letting me know what your favorite project was. But of course, if you are one of my longtime subscribers, go ahead and check out all of the links in the description below. We also have a playlist. I always have such a lovely comment section and I would love it if you guys would spread some positivity over to all of their channels as well, because they all worked so hard on their project. For this collaboration, we decided we wanted to take on the challenge of creating items that looked like they were from high-end home decor stores. So I was personally inspired by West Elm as well as CB2. If you've been on this channel, you know those are like my favorite to like higher end home decor stores, not only to shop from but also to take inspiration from with DIY, because they can be extremely expensive. A candlestick for $12 on CB2 or West Elm going to cost you $2 to make at the dollar store. So that's what we're doing today. We are taking dollar store items and supplies and turning them into high-end luxury home decor. If you like what you see, and I hope that you do, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel as well as leaving a like and a comment on this video letting me know what your favorite project was, or who you want me to work with next or again, or what you guys want to see. I am so excited to be making this content for you guys and I cannot wait to make more. So if that stuff sounds like it is your vibe, definitely consider subscribing and I would love to have you join my little community here on YouTube. Without further ado, I want to jump right on into these DIYs and get started for you guys, so let's head on into the projects. This first project is super simple, so I am just going to go over this really sheer gold covering. I'm not sure if this is a paint or something because it flakes off very easily, and I'm using my Bare Satin finish in the shade Nightclub. If you've been on this channel for longer than 10 seconds, you have seen me use this paint before. It's my favorite paint to use and I will never stop using this paint. It is one of my favorite colors and finishes to use on projects. I just think it looks so nice. It's not a completely flat black, it's definitely more of a charcoal-y gray, and I just think it looks so expensive and so deep, and there's so much depth to it and it's so nice. I definitely feel like the gold sort of melded in with this peachy amber glass, and I think that this darker color scheme definitely helps to bring out those really nice colors in the glass, and I think it just looks so much more elegant with this than it did the chalky gold color that was on here before. For this next project, I am taking the garden dish from the dollar store and this glass bowl to add some weight to the project and also make sure that it doesn't buckle once I put something sort of heavier in here, like my car keys or something as I'm heading out. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the labels so that the adhesive sticks better and layer on a generous amount of some super glue that I also found at the dollar store. Then I'm going to make sure that I am placing this evenly and in the center of both objects, and it's helpful because there are little dots in the center of each of these things, so it's easy to just sort of line them up. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a heavy candle in the center just to keep some pressure and weight on this while this dries, so I know the adhesive is going to do its job. Once that's all completed, I'm taking this Hammered Finish black spray paint from Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to go ahead and give this 3 light coats of this paint to make sure I'm building up a nice opaque finish on the color and a really great amount of texture on the actual finish of this project. This looks so much better with the texture, I think. I've seen these done where it's just a flat spray paint, but to me, I definitely feel like that can lean towards this looks like 2 objects that were glued together and then painted, and I feel like with the added texture, I definitely think that there is another element there with that texture that just says these two things are not just two objects glued together and painted. This is actually like one piece. You can disagree with me if you'd like. I completely know that this is just my opinion. For this upcoming project here, I have a candlestick from the dollar store as well as one of their candle bases, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those together as well as you saw previously, doing the same exact matter of adhesing the two together. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint, because again, I want these to look like they were always together, and for this I did feel like the just plain flat matte black spray paint worked and it did the job, and I definitely liked how it came out. It definitely looks, in my opinion, like something West Elm would sell. I like to have these things, these designated areas for you to place your jewelry at night. I like to have these on my bedside bar cart at night just to have those nice designated spaces for these little things. For this project, I'm going to go ahead and spray paint my Rust-Oleum Satin Heirloom white paint over a few of these plastic bits and bobs from various spaces in the dollar store. These flatter pieces with these little circular bits on the top actually are the bottoms of some plastic party glasses, and I believe that these little cups are in a pack of like 6 or 7, and I'm going to go ahead and also take my flat matte black spray paint from Rust-Oleum and paint a few more. I wasn't sure which colors I would end up going with, so I wanted to make sure that I got them all done. Then I'm taking these nice, almost shot glass looking little votive holders, and I'm going to place some E6000 in this little hole that they have, which I thought was so convenient because this little bit that comes up on these plastic glassware holders sort of fits right into that hole, and the seal around it is so nice and very perfect almost. I was really shocked at how this came out, and I'm going to go ahead and do those in various colors. I have 4 of these votive holders, so I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of them, 2 in black and 2 in this nice creamy white. And I'm going to go ahead and take some super glue as well, as you can see, just to get that seal, if you can sort of see where it connects to the base. So I've got that E6000, which is going to connect on the inside, and on the outside I have that super glue that you can see that's really going to give some hold. And then again, to add some pressure and make sure that these pieces dry together, I'm going to place a large heavy candle on as they each dry. Stepping away from more utilitarian projects, I'm going to take this crafting hoop that I found at the dollar store, and I'm actually taking a dollar store handsaw, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut that in half. I definitely liked using a saw more than a knife with this project, just because I could make sure that the lines were even and it wasn't difficult at all. And then I'm taking some dollar store spackling as well as a little popsicle stick on this white chunk of foam, and I'm going to go ahead and seal that off to make sure that it looks a little bit less like foam and a little bit more like a pedestal. And I'm also going to go ahead and seal in those edges of my cut hoop. Then taking a dollar store dowel and some super glue, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the center of each of these pieces and just poke a little hole before adding some glue and poking the stick back in between them. This is going to be a nice sculptural art piece, so I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of E6000 and another little bit of super glue. Now be careful with the super glue because it will melt your foam, so you want to only use a little bit of it and work in layers at a time when you're doing this to make sure that the glue has time to dry inside. That's why I went in with the E6000 as well, because it's not going to melt the foam and it's going to dry over time and give a more flexible hold, whereas the super glue is sort of going to dry immediately. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of that spackling and sort of go over that base part of the stick, and then we're going to take our heirloom white by Rust-Oleum paint and just go ahead and spray the entire surface of this. This again can eat away at the foam, so I would work in really thin layers. I'm taking one of those cups that you saw me spray paint previously, and I'm adding some super glue to the top, and I'm taking one of these glass vases from the dollar store. Obviously everything's from the dollar store in this video aside from the spray paint I already owned, and I'm just going to go ahead and center that up and place that on and put some heavy books on top for drying purposes. This is again a super simple way to elevate something from the dollar store and make it look like you spent way more money on it than you actually did. I thought this looked so much nicer with the addition to the bottom of it. It looked so much more stylized and definitely had more character, and I'm very thrilled with how this came out. Jumping back to those half-cut circles, I'm going to go ahead and take some yarn that I already had, but I'm fairly certain the dollar store also sells yarn and things like that, so I'm going to go ahead and include this one in the DIYs as well. And I'm just going to loop a bunch of threads around like so. So you see I'm taking both edges, sort of folding the thread down the middle, and then not tying it in a knot per se, but just sort of tying it off at the end so that both of the strings hang down. And this is such a nice like boho wall hanging. You could do a few of these and make mobile. You could do a lot with sort of this base of a project. And I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that as many times as I feel is necessary. I do want these edges to poke out, and if I had to do this project again, I would say that I would rather paint before I did this. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a loop of thread and separate all of my strings down the center so that I have the centermost point of the half circle, and I'm going to go ahead and loop my circular piece of thread so that I have a nice place to hang it, and then I'm going to push all of those together once again and crack open this paint. This one does not have a name. This is again one of my discounted paints from Home Depot that I am obsessed with buying. I love discounted paints. I think that they are so much fun. It's like a little grab bag and a mystery bag of paints that you're gonna get every time. This is a wonderful pale mauve color that I absolutely love, and definitely got very lucky with finding in the discount section. I believe this whole pint of paint was like $2 or something crazy like that, and I'm just taking a small detail brush to go in around the sides, being very careful not to touch any of the threads around it, which again is why I would definitely recommend you paint beforehand if you are going to paint this. How amazing is it that you can take things that only cost $1 or so and turn them into something that looks like CB2 or West Elm could sell it? That is so amazing to me. I do want to give a special shout out to everyone that I worked with today. Now that's going to be Actually Allie DIY, Kian by Design, David Owen Creates, Annalie Ashby, and Chemo Craft, along with, last but definitely not least, A Perfect Place to Start. They are so amazing. They have made this journey so impactful, and I have been so welcomed into their little DIY community. So I am so thankful to each and every single one of them for joining in on this collaboration and being so helpful and positive and uplifting to one another. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment letting me know what your favorite project was and which one you are most likely to recreate at home. And I will see you in next week's video. Bye!